Welcome back to another market outlook. Today we are looking at the week of the 25th, right? So obviously I'm posting this on Monday. Why? Because today was obviously a bank holiday. Not really much going on today. I think a few course members caught some winning trades, but I wasn't personally trading today. So we've just been chilling. But obviously this is the second market outlook. We'll be doing this every single day in the morning, right? Every single morning I'll post this, so you wake up, you check the YouTube, you see a market outlook, you watch it, and you already know what's going to be happening for the day. That is it, okay? That literally as simple as it gets. So let's get right into the video. Make sure you like and subscribe, because obviously we're new. This is a new channel now, so yeah, make sure you subscribe. But yeah, Forex Factory, what are we looking at? The fundamentals. So yes, today wasn't Monday wasn't really a good day to be trading. It was a bank holiday and no news. Today or Tuesday is the exact same day. We don't really have anything until 7:30. Obviously we've got orange folder, but I don't trade on no red folder days, or no news days I call them, because there's nothing really major happening anyway. So yeah, I'd leave it tomorrow. Wednesday is the exact same thing. CPI for Australia at 2:30, but other than that, nothing else. So I would honestly just leave this alone as well. Tuesday and Wednesday. Thursday we got prelim, so that's pretty good. And on Friday we have the price index and GDP for Canada as well. So Thursday, Friday, good days to trade. Every other day is a write-off. I would backtest, review your journal, just prep for Thursday and Friday as much as you can, because it's not going to be a good day to trade. I can promise you that, right? Do not say I didn't warn you. So now we got the fundamentals out the way. Let's hop onto the chart and look for the bias. Obviously, we didn't have a market outlook yesterday. That's like the fifth time I've said obviously in this video, but you know, it is obvious we didn't do one yesterday. And a few of you left a couple comments, right? So obviously wanted to look at US 30 and ES. So YN, NQ, and ES will all be looked at from now on in the market outlooks. As you can tell, every single pair we're going to be looking at has a little red thing next to it. If you have any ideas for any pairs you want me to look at, literally any of them, leave a comment and I will do it. So yeah, let's just start with GJ. We're going to be using the weekly time frame here as well, because this is the first one of the week. Now, already you can see a fair value up here which hasn't been mitigated, but that doesn't really matter, because the second you look for the liquidity, you will see a liquidity sweep right there, which means we need a retracement, okay? Now we know we need a retracement. We need to look to retrace between this liquidity and this liquidity down here. So if we're looking to retrace in between both of those things, we look around here and there isn't a fair value gap. So what you do when there isn't a fair value gap to retrace to is go to a lower time frame one and draw all the ones you can see out there. So there's one here which we assumed would be respected, right? I'm just going to get rid of this weekly. Assumed you'd respect that. Same here. And then there's obviously a couple further down. Now, we disrespected this one, but tapped straight in with this candle into this fair value gap. So you would have been bullish here and bullish here, right? So we've been bullish for quite a few days. And obviously the target, pretty simple, is this high over here. So the weekly is bullish because the daily is bullish. So the weekly and daily are bullish. The 4 hour is actually bearish because we're obviously respecting a bearish fair value gap more recently, and there's liquidity down here. So you would actually expect price to come down to here on the 4 hour. One of those is obviously going to be wrong, either the daily or the 4 hour. We'll see which one that is, but it's pretty mixed right now. There's no point looking at the 1 hour, but yeah, I'd say it's pretty mixed. The weekly and the daily. The weekly is mixed in its own sense because it needs to retrace. We don't really know when it's finished retracing, so we use a lower time frame, which is bullish, but that means the weekly is mixed. So really the only two time frames are the daily and the 4 hour, which is one's bullish, one's bearish, so we don't really have much to go off of here. So it is clearly mixed, right? It is clearly mixed, and you can see it's been pretty slow today as well. We haven't really had much, kind of just been going sideways all morning. Had a bit of a push here, but other than that, it's been choppy. That's why I stay away. Next up, we have a look at gold. So starting off the weekly, again, it's been pretty mixed. I don't even think there's a point in looking at the weekly on gold because it's just so sideways. So we just go straight to the daily, right? Which is respecting a bullish fair value gap right here. therefore needs to take out the highs, which would be this, and that is also a bearish fair gap. Not that that really matters because there's liquidity there instead. So yeah, but yeah. So what we are here on the daily is bearish towards this bullish fair value gap because we took out these highs. We need to retrace back down. So if we haven't already tapped into that, I am bearish towards that fair value gap, right? Then the 4 hour. The 4 hour actually is bearish as well because it's took out the highs, it needs to mitigate this. So bearish on both, right? And for the target, because the daily is a lot easier to just target because it's smaller, we're going to be, I'm further away from my prices, we're going to be using this, right? It's actually closer than it would be to target the 4 hour, so it's actually a lot easier to target the daily here. So bearish, plain and simple, both took highs, both need to mitigate fair value gaps. Next up is EU. The reason we do EU is because it kind of gives us a look at all the different currencies, because then we have GBP, JPY, Euro, and the USD. The weekly looks bearish slightly because we've inversed this, right? We need to take out these lows now that we've done that. So I'm going to say bearish. The lows that we've left behind are these over here. We go to the daily time frame and you can see we've took out the highs, need to retrace down in between the two liquidity points, which would be this and this. Where do we retrace to? Nowhere, because there's no fair value gap. So we use a lower time frame and see that there's one right here, right, which we have mitigated now. We are respecting. So the 4 hours bullish, probably going to disrespect it though. So I'm going to say bearish more than anything. So it is bearish. I think I'm going to say in the morning, like when you're watching this video, we will have disrespected this by now. So it's bearish, right? But yeah, to those lows, all the way down here, because that's the daily target. Or the fair value gap, I guess you could argue, or down to here. So I'm going to say we're bearish down to here on EU. Where did that go, that rating? There it is. Right. See how simple it is, right? Just find your bias. You have to, or I do this every day and every morning. You need to do the same thing because it keeps you on your A game. Like you know exactly what's going to be happening and when. Now, Bitcoin, I think someone sold like 2 billion worth of Bitcoin over the weekend, which caused a 2% drop. You can see that's what that fluctuation is from. But regardless of what happened there, we have took out these lows, and we have also, I think, okay, no, but we took out these lows anyway, so it doesn't really matter. Respected the bearish fair value gap up here, as you can see, and then continue down to the lows. 5 hours left. I think we're probably going to end up closing around here. I do not see us completely reversing, which means this would be the target. Bullish bias on the daily. 53 minutes left on this. If this closes bullish, then this is bullish on here. Okay. So I'm gonna say the bias is bullish, because the daily has took out lows, needs to retrace to this. 4 hours took out lows, retraced, and technically in 50 minutes has inversed this, right? Because we had a technical close here with this first bullish candle, and then this one's the follow through, which gives us that confirmation that we have inversed it. So clear bullish bias on Bitcoin. Now let's check. Now let's check US 30 or the Dow Jones. So took out the highs, needs to retrace back down. Nowhere to retrace to. Same story. Apart from this for like up here, which we will have in 4 hours. So bearish to there, and the 4 hours technically mixed, right? Or the bias is technically mixed. This is bullish, right? So you can't argue with that. We can't assume things are going to happen here because it's so far away. It's just, yeah, it's mixed, right? It is mixed, plain and simple. The daily needs to retrace down, but the 4 hours already finished doing that. So what are we going to do? One of those things is going to be wrong, and we can guess, but we don't really know. We don't have like a, educated guess. It's literally 50-50. But yeah, I mean, the weekly on NQ is the same situation, bearish nowhere to retrace to. The daily on NQ has mitigated this bearish fair value gap. So we're assuming the price is going to continue down to these lows. So that's bearish on the daily on NQ. And on the 4 hour, it is bullish, so it's mixed again because it's mitigated that fair value gap, and it hasn't actually mitigated it. There you go then. Simple. Bearish. Right? There's no, you can't be wrong with that. Like, needs to mitigate it. The daily needs to mitigate it as well. So bearish bias on NQ there. ES, so this is the S&P 500. The weekly is the same. You know, you will notice that these are quite similar pairs, like, because obviously it's all based on stocks. There's different groups of stocks, but they are always very, very similar. That's why people look for divergence on ES when they trade NQ and stuff like that. So what's going on here? This fair value gap's pretty irrelevant because we haven't took liquidity yet. We've inversed this. We need to take the highs. So bullish bias on the daily here on ES, and bearish on the 4 hour here as well, because we need to mitigate this fair value gap after taking out those highs. So simple, mixed here. So it's pretty relatively mixed. You know, there's not really a lot going on, and it's because it's a slow week, and you will see this throughout the week if you do make the stupid decision to trade. But yeah, let's summarize this. So Monday, yesterday, bank holiday, slow day. Tuesday, slow day. Wednesday, slow day. Thursday and Friday, the only good days to trade. We have prelim on Thursday and GDP for Canada and something else on Friday. So pretty crap week, I'm not gonna lie. I will be active in the Discord, so make sure you're there. But yeah, there's no streams until Thursday at least. But yeah, also we are starting a boot camp. More announcements on that on Wednesday, so keep your eyes peeled for that because it's very important. I've been working on this for the past 3 months in the dark. In quiet, that means, not in my room, in the dark. So yeah, that's pretty much it. I got nothing else to share. That is the bias for everything: GJ, gold, EU, Bitcoin, and the free futures. Right, we got mixed on GJ, bearish on gold, bearish on the 4 hour. Sorry, bearish on EU. So we're mixed on GJ, bearish on gold, bearish on EU, bullish on Bitcoin, mixed on the YM, bearish on NQ, and mixed on ES. So pretty mixed overall there. Pretty slow week. But that's it from me. Like the video, subscribe, recommend Forex pairs for us to analyze on these market outlooks. I will see you tomorrow. Have a good one. Bye bye.